Happy Tuesday, and welcome back to the Red Mic. This is my second bite at the apple. I've had tech problems all morning long, so let's try this again. Today's Red Mic message designed on, I'm going to start with a confession. My wife's vehicle, she's named her vehicle. I'm not going to say my wife's vehicle's name out of fear that she will hear me. Not my wife, the car. I don't want her to break down out of spite because I'm about to say some things about the Italian engineering. Beautiful car, beautiful vehicle, but it has the most ridiculously complicated interior air filter design I've ever seen. You don't change the filter as much as you disassemble the vehicle. Panels come off, the dashboard practically disassembles. You got to pull the glove box out, and that's to put in an inch filter that's about yay big, just so the interior air is a little cleaner. But you know what? I'm not doing it. I'm not spending that much time, and I'm also not going to pay anybody to do it. This is something flexing that was never meant to flex. And don't even get me started on the battery. There's so many things attached to the battery posts that just looking at it makes me nervous. I'm not even thinking about trying to jumpstart the thing because honestly, it feels like it's something you would need both a mechanic's waiver and a priest on standby. I mean, I'll be honest with you, give me a stick shift with a janky battery and I'll push start the thing all day long because I understand that. I see what's happening. I know the system. If it fails, I know how to work around it. I'm not afraid of simple machines. I'm afraid of systems so fragile and so buried in complexity that nobody knows how they work anymore, including the people who design them. Before I get any further, Red Mic messages are leadership and life lessons picked up from 25 years as a public servant, 16 years as a youth football coach and scouting volunteer, and 10 years as a mediocre athlete with far more heart than actual physical ability. Cheers to the alma mater. All of this got me thinking about over-engineering and under-engineering and things that look good on paper. Brings me to my Airbnb. I mentioned it the other day. We stayed at this Airbnb that on paper had a kitchen, but the oven door wouldn't open all the way. In their zeal to design a beautiful kitchen, they put these overly long drawer pulls on the cabinets directly next to the oven. So the oven door would hit those and you couldn't open it. And that told me something incredibly important. No one ever actually used that oven. They designed it, they installed it, they admired it, but they never cooked with it. And then let's talk about public bathrooms. With the exception of Buc-ee's, which gives you plenty of paper, most automatic towel dispensers in public bathrooms, they shoot out, 1 or 2 inches of paper. So you're standing there, your hands dripping, you're waving at the thing like you're trying to summon a spirit. Same thing about the automatic sensors on water. You're hitting that sensor over and over 3 or 4 times just to get enough paper to dry your hands. That was not designed for people. That was designed for a spreadsheet. It's like cubicles in the workspace. A friend of mine, smart, capable, proven, long-time professional, she's worked in a private office for at least the last decade. She was recently moved into a cubicle when they moved into a new building. She was not demoted. She was not disciplined. It was not a performance issue. They just maximized the space in this new building. It's only part of the story. They're not really allowed to decorate. I think they get to put maybe 1 or 2 pictures up. No plants, nothing sticking up over the top of the cubicle walls, no melty candle things to make the space smell better. None of that. No personality, no identity, no visible sign that a living, breathing, thinking human being actually works there. And that's not space optimization. That's a place trying very hard to become the land where ideas and innovation go to die. Because ideas don't come from sameness. Innovation doesn't come from uniformity. And great work doesn't come from people who are treated like interchangeable parts. I'm sure that somebody at that entity presented a beautiful slide deck about the square footage per employee and the cost savings per floor and square foot and visual uniformity, but nobody asked the question that really matters. What does this feel like to the person sitting there actually doing the work? Over-engineered systems try to anticipate everything and they become fragile in the process. Under-engineered systems ignore reality and they force workarounds. And systems that are never tested in the real world look brilliant right up until someone actually has to live inside them and use them day to day. Whether it's a car battery you're afraid to touch, an oven you can't open, a towel dispenser that won't actually help you dry your hands, or a cubicle that tells you to not stand out and just to be that square peg in that square hole, the failure is the same. Nobody walked through it, nobody tested it, nobody used it like a real person on a real day. And that's not just bad design, that's bad leadership. Good leaders test systems where their people live. They sit in the chair, they try the process, they open the oven door, and they understand that complexity isn't intelligence, control is not competence. Uniformity is not a culture, and elegance on paper doesn't matter if it fails in practice, because the best systems at work and in life aren't the fanciest. They're the ones that still work when the battery's dead, when the towel dispenser is empty, and the plan didn't survive first contact with reality. So what do I mean by all this? Design for people, test in the real world, and never confuse looks impressive with it actually works. And that's today's Red Mike message. Second bite at the apple, as it was. I appreciate you guys for being here. Please give me a like, a follow, and a share. If you're on Apple Podcasts, hey, give me a review. Heck, do that anywhere you can. Leave me a comment. I want to get feedback. I really do. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you again tomorrow. And until next time, don't forget, life is short. Drink the bourbon.